Hello everybody, it's Mark Line from Photoshop and Illustrator Sorcery. I wanted to talk and provide a really quick video today on canvas size. So one of the things that I'm kind of working on for posts that I thought might be fun for the group is Photoshop jokes. And so, we're not going to post a ton of them, hopefully, but I thought it'd be fun once in a while to see a Photoshop joke. So anyway, I found this one out on the interwebs, and I noticed it needed some work. And so a couple things. I didn't want to show this guy's face in the group in this particular meme, so I went ahead and I did a selection here, filled it with white, and then flattened the image so we wouldn't we don't need his face for our joke. And then also, the joke down here got cut off because I don't think that the person who made this made it correctly or with the right dimensions. So anyway, you can see it needs some work, and so where we're going to start today is we're going to start by adjusting the actual image, and then I'm going to kind of share with you how canvas size works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select out the joke part, which is this here, and you'll notice that that pink line appears, and what that does is that shows you when your selection is essentially centered in the image that you're, centered in the image. So so it's not centered inside of the selection itself, but on the image that you're working with. So if I start selecting here, you don't see the pink line showing up where the center of the selection is, right? You'll see it pop up here really briefly when I hit the center line, and then when I extend past it, once the selection is actually centered, then that pink line shows up again there as well. It's just a handy little aid that Photoshop has set up for us. So I'm going to try to get this kind of as close as possible. Hey, that wasn't too bad. And then I'm going to wait for that pink line to show up, and that's going to mean that we're pretty much centered from where in the image. Then let go, and that's our selection. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop to that selection. So I come up here to the image and crop. And again, I know that there's a lot of keyboard shortcuts for everything, but right now we're kind of working on beginning tutorials, and so we're just going to kind of be showing people where the menu items are, and hopefully that's helpful to people. Okay, so now we got this image cropped. We're ready to adjust the canvas layer. So so the way that we can do that is, and of course you can deselect if you want. The keyboard shortcut is Control D. So you can deselect, or you can actually leave it selected. It doesn't really make any difference when you're changing the canvas size. So anyway, let me go ahead and deselect there. Another way to deselect, if you have a selection, is with your selection tool, selected, I guess, for lack of a better word. You can just then click anywhere in the workspace, and that'll end up deselecting as long as you don't drag your selector tool. So once again, if I've got a selection selected and I just click anywhere in the workspace, it'll deselect everything. I can click in the image, it'll deselect everything. If I have a selection and then I go and I drag, it'll create a new selection. Okay? Alright, so I think that's 3 ways I've shown you to deselect. So one is to come up here under the select and choose deselect here. Another is to use a shortcut, which is Control D. And then another is to click anywhere in the work area or workspace. Alright, so now going to adjust the canvas size. We want this image to be square because we're creating a meme. And then something else I did is I came over here and I found this website here, which has a really great infographic for all the social media image sizes. It's kind of it's a cheat sheet, and it covers the dimensions for a Facebook profile image, the cover photo, and what I'm going to start with here is when I do my my memes, I try to create them with Instagram in mind. Now, because this image here that we're working with is such poor quality, I'm not going to resize to 1080 by 1080, but since it's going to appear in the feed at 510 by 510, I figure I'll go ahead and do that. I mean, I thought about Probably the better thing to do would be to do 612 by 612 because that's how Instagram scales everything to. So I think we'll go ahead and just do it that way. Okay, so we want to change these drop downs here to work in pixels. We'll go 612 by 612. And you'll notice as I was typing in the dimension of the pixels that these arrows change shape, okay? And what these arrows are down here is they're where we're going to place the anchor inside of this existing canvas and how we're going to build out the new canvas, okay? So right now the anchor point is right here in the center, and so if we click OK, it's going to expand the canvas out from the center of the existing canvas, okay? But if we don't have equal dimensions in width and height, so let me delete that too, and the anchor point is still the center, what it's going to do is because it's growing the dimensions out widthwise, it's still going to grow them out widthwise from the center, but all the other ones, since this image right now is larger than 61 pixels high, and from the corners it's going to shrink it down relative to the center point of the existing canvas, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and set it to 612 by 612, and right now the anchor point is in the center, and so if I click OK, this image is going to stay in the middle, and the new canvas is going to expand out from the center until it reaches a size of 612 by 612. It's not going to add an additional 612 pixels to the existing canvas. It's going to make the canvas 612 by 612 pixels. Okay, so if I click OK, you can see, let me move this up and fit it in the workspace. And actually I'll zoom it back one so you can see. So basically the new canvas size expanded out from the center in all directions. Okay, so let me undo that. And then we'll come back up here, go to canvas size, and if we want to grow the canvas from if we want to grow the canvas down, it's kind of counterintuitive when you're working with these arrows, right? So if you want to grow the canvas down, you actually hit the up arrow, right? And that makes the anchor point at the top of the existing canvas. And so now what will happen when I click OK is this image will stay at the top center, and the canvas will grow to 612 by 612. Let me change that here. From the top down, okay? So I'll click OK. And you can see the canvas grew from the top down, okay? And end out as well. All right, so let me undo that. Go back to canvas size. Change these to pixels. Okay, and now we're going to have it go in the opposite direction. We want it to grow up from the bottom, so we're going to click the down arrow. Okay, and that puts the anchor point at the bottom of this existing canvas. And so now this image here will stay at the bottom, and the canvas will grow up and out. And click OK, and there we can see the canvas grew up and out. All right, so that's it. That's how you work with or how you increase the canvas size and how you set the anchor point, and covers kind of how those arrows can be tricky, but hopefully it makes some sort of sense to you now. Thanks so much, and again, this is Mark Line with Photoshop and Illustrator Sorcery, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.